Good morning and welcome to Monday Mercy. This morning I'm going to be telling a story from 2 Samuel 9. It's a story about King David extending incredible mercy and kindness towards one individual. But it forms part of a much bigger story about the way in which God shows incredible mercy and kindness to us as he adopts us into his family and invites us to eat at his table. King David is asking around if there's anybody that he can show mercy to from the house of Saul, which is actually an incredible question, really, for him to be asking at all, because God's given him victory over the house of Saul. That's been God's will for the people of Israel, and yet David is still looking to show and extend mercy towards anyone he can. And it comes to light that there's a son of Jonathan, his best friend, who's died in battle. And this son of Jonathan is crippled in both of his feet. He can't walk, having been dropped by a nurse during a military defeat as they fled the house. But David invites Mephibosheth to his house. And it says Mephibosheth fell on his face and paid homage to David. And he says, "Behold, I'm your servant." He's eager to be David's servant. Surely David would just show mercy if he could just be his servant forever. But David wants more than that for Mephibosheth. David says to him, "Do not fear, for I will show you kindness for the sake of your father Jonathan, and I will restore to you all the land of Saul your father, and you shall eat at my table always." Mephibosheth's best hope in this situation is that perhaps he could be a servant to David, but David wants far more from Mephibosheth. He doesn't even just want to effectively sponsor him as a child of Jonathan's from afar, but actually he wants him to make him an heir. He's offering him land, inheritance, not just servanthood, but sonhood. He invites him to eat at his table always. Mephibosheth is amazed as he says, "What is your servant that you should show regard for a dead dog as I?" You see, it's not about what Mephibosheth can offer David. He can't walk, he can't work for him, he can't offer him much at all in human terms. But actually, it's about his new status. David is keen to bring him into the household, for him to eat at his table, for him to be part of his life. He wants to extend that sort of mercy to him. And we might not be in the house of Saul, but actually, we're in a much more dire position than Mephibosheth was in. You see, we've come from the house of Adam. We're outsiders. And this story is a picture of the grace of God in inviting us, not just to sponsor us from afar, not just to be our patron, but to invite us into sonhood, into daughterhood, to come and sit at his very table, to come and be an heir, to come and join the firstborn of many brothers, Jesus Christ, and to sit always at his table. In fact, David makes that point again in verse 10. He says, "Mephibosheth shall always eat at my table." It's not based upon his performance. It's not based upon what he can bring to the table. It's based upon the character, the mercy of David. And for us, it's based on the character, the mercy of God, that we are invited to eat always at his table, that we are invited to be heirs with Christ, that we're invited to be recipients of this wonderful, wonderful mercy.